Hey gamers, Gecko here. We are now less than 24 hours away from Unica's launch in Guilty Gear. Well, kind of. We've been given a lot of information about what's coming up in the patch alongside her though. Before anyone gets excited, no, there are no balance changes in the patch. We'll get onto that a little bit later in the end of the video, but there are quite a few interesting things in these patch notes that I want to go over. So how about I go through the patch notes, tell you what everything means, show you the areas that I think are lacking a little bit, and show you the things that I actually like about this patch. Despite what people will tell you, there's actually a few small nice things in this patch that I'm personally looking forward to. So let's get to it, shall we? So as you can see, this is the version 1.46 patch notes that came out today. All of these changes will come alongside Unica once the Strive servers go down for maintenance. So let's see what we got. Added Unica as a playable character, added Unica's theme, added avatar and gallery items for Unica, related articles in GG World, and 2 DLC stages. The name of these stages are In the Name of Peace and New Dawn, A Future Unfolding. Now, this is actually a bit of a shock. I don't think we've ever had 2 stages added in the exact same patch before. Normally we get 2 new stages per season, generally with the last 2 characters being vaguely themed around them. And while I don't get to play on these stages a lot, I always think the DLC stages are really nice. The White House is a personal favorite for me, as well as the Moon. Having you explode through walls alongside the wall break effect is just really cool. I'll definitely be checking these out when they come out. We've seen a tiny bit of one of the stages, and we get a screenshot later that actually shows a little bit about the other one. So yeah, I'm looking forward to these. Added new pre-battle interaction dialogue for the following matchup: Bridget versus Bedman, and Bedman versus Bridget. This is actually really nice. Having the little quips between characters at the start of matches is something that Strive players fucking love. Hell, it's something that fighting game players love. I know every time they add new ones of these, I immediately hunt them down because they're just so fun to listen to. Strive is a weird game where there's only like 2 villains, so there's no real reason for the rest of the people to fight, but having a little interaction that shows the dynamic between the 2 characters before they actually start fighting, it's really cool. I do also wonder if this is going to have anything to do with Unica's presence in the game now. Unica and Bridget seem to be very good friends, so maybe it'll have something to do with that. Who knows? Additional content has been added for Venom in the digital figure mode. This kind of annoys me a lot. For some reason, whenever a character is added, they're not immediately put in the digital figure mode, which sucks. Digital figure is a side tool that not a lot of people use, but for someone like me, it's a very easy way to pose characters for thumbnails, and the fact that characters are added later than when they're released can make it a little bit annoying when I'm trying to make stuff about them. Still, I'm glad Venom's finally there, just 2 months after he's out. As you can see here, they have finally updated training mode. Strive training mode has always been considered pretty good. It's very easily customizable and there's a lot of options in it. However, the main thing it has always been missing is frame data. This is something that several players have modded in over the years. However, having it officially in the game not only means that unmodded players can use it, but also console players can use it, which is really fucking good. It also doesn't require us to update mods every time we want to check something new. And as you can see, it looks like that. Added frame data display feature. This feature is available in training, combo search, combo create, and sparring modes. Not really sure what they mean by sparring modes, but okay. As you can see, it is a very simple frame data tool. In fact, it's so simple, it's literally been ripped out of Dragon Ball FighterZ. I thought this was what they were gonna do years ago. This is basically the frame display that we've had in FighterZ for ever. And FighterZ and Strive seemingly use the same base engine. So just putting the frame data stuff from that into Strive, I didn't think it would be too hard, but who knows? Unfortunately, in the years since Strive came out to now, the way that we process and display frame data has changed quite drastically, mainly thanks to Street Fighter 6 implementing more advanced frame displays that have been seen in other indie games. So something like this is definitely useful and is going to be nice to have. However, I still think there are places for frame display mods and for improvement on the system from Arc System Works. It's a good step forward, and I'm glad that it's finally here, and they actually kept a promise on time for once. However, there's a lot more they could have done with us. They also updated the input history displayer. Now it displays the amount of frames that something was inputted for, as well as displaying a neutral icon whenever an input is not done. This is really good. This is something that have been in other ArcSys games before. French Bread have had these in their games for years at this point, and it is a super useful tool when trying to figure out why something isn't working. If you can see the exact amount of frames that you're doing something by, it's a lot easier to decode and figure out where a problem might be. Also, because this is just in the input history, I'm pretty sure this works in replay mode. I don't think the frame data feature works in replay mode, which really sucks, especially since the game doesn't have like replay takeover or anything. But I'll still at least take being able to see what people input and how long they input it for. They also added the option to disable negative penalty during training mode. This isn't that massive. I think it's just a nice little feature because it can be quite annoying having negative penalty activate when you're just doing things in training mode. I know a personal one, sometimes I'll just sit in training mode while I'm working on a video because I need to quickly go and get a bit of footage, and just having the announcer constantly saying negative penalty when I forget to pause the game can be really frustrating. So having this being able to be disabled is really nice. There's also a couple of bug fixes. There's no major one that seems to have been fixed, so we're just gonna skip past this part, unfortunately. And finally, the battle-related content. And as you can see, it is pretty barren. There's still some changes in here, so let's go over them. Changes to throw moves. When Roman Cancel is inputted directly before the last hit of a throw hits, a red Roman Cancel now activates after the final hit. This makes it less likely for a purple Roman Cancel to activate when the Roman Cancel is unintentionally inputted before the final hit connects. Back throw incident is dead! This is good for me. Every time I basically do a purple Roman Cancel after I do an air or ground throw, it's generally because I misinputted the timing for a red Roman Cancel, so I'll take it. I wonder if any tech's broken because of this now, though. I have no idea. For characters who move backwards after the final hit of their air throw, they no longer move backwards if the action is interrupted. This makes it easier to follow up after performing a Roman Cancel. Cool. Very basic adjustments to ground and air throws. I've not really heard people complain about these. It's one of those things where you kind of just get used to how the systems work after a while, but it's a decent change. Finally, some bug fixes relating to combat. Fix an issue causing disparity in timing when the slowdown effect was applied when cancelling a normal or special move with red, purple, or blue Roman Cancel, if not performed at the soonest possible timing. Fixed an issue making it possible to use Psych Burst during the wall break sequence when activated under certain conditions. I haven't heard of that one, that's funny. Fixed an issue sometimes causing Nagoriyuki to move during the Super Flash when Blood Rage ends under certain conditions. Fixed an issue causing Abba to move during the Super Flash when Jealous Rage ends under certain conditions. Fixed an issue sometimes causing momentum to apply to a special move even when the startup of Slayer's dash was not cancelled into a jump. And for Dizzy, fixed an error making it possible for the opponent to tech when landing an untechable knockdown if the opponent lands at the same time Ice Field disappears. As a result of this fix, the active time of Ice Field has been extended by 1 frame. There you go, Dizzy players, you've got a buff. That's it. That's the patch notes. Safe to say, they're not the greatest in the world. On the good side, we are obviously getting 2 new stages, a whole new character, and interactions between existing characters, as well as a couple of bugs being squashed and throws being easier to use. However, on the downside, while we did get frame display, we got it in the most basic way possible. A frame display system that's from a game that came out in 2018, 7 years ago, as well as 0 meaningful balance changes. If you've not really been paying attention to competitive Strive for a while, almost everyone has been asking for the game to be changed. Not a lot of people have been very happy with Season 4. People are enjoying it, don't get me wrong, but competing in this game right now is kind of hellish. Because of that, a lot of people have been asking for a balance patch, and they've been asking, and asking, and asking. And I would feel more sympathetic towards Arc System Works if it was very soon after the patch came out. If it was a Tekken Season 2 situation where it's the first week and everyone is demanding balance changes, I would understand. However, the last balance patch we got for Strive was the emergency balance patch that came out on December 19th. If things keep going the way that they're going, and we don't get a balance patch until Lucy comes out, that's going to be over 6 months between balance patches. Hell, if we don't get one with Lucy, there might not be a mid-season balance update. We might have this for nearly a year. It's really annoying. I understand that Arc System Works is a company that doesn't patch games often. If Arxis is manning the balance helm, the games are not patched regularly. A large break between balance patches is very normal. This is not something that we should be concerned or frightened about. Hell, half a year with a version of the game is normal for Strive standards. However, people have been very loud and very vocal about this patch, about how they don't like it and how they want things changed. They were so vocal about it, we had an emergency balance patch, which I don't think has ever happened in any other Arxis game. They didn't say when they announced that they were putting frame display and fucking ranked mode in the game if there was going to be a balance patch or not. The idea that this version of the game is the one that we get ranked in terrifies me. I do not want to play ranked in this season. I hope that when ranked mode comes out or when Lucy comes out, we get a balance update. Because if the game stays like it is and we have no idea when it's going to get updated, it's gonna be rough. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you're all excited for Unica. Let me know what you thought about the patch in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all next time. By next time, I mean a couple of hours. She comes out at 4 o'clock in the morning for me. I hate it here.